Hi there, and welcome to Sword Buddies. I'm Troy, and I study Iaido.
I'm Justin, and I study Rapier from Fabris.
And this is our first Sword Buddies of 2021, so thank y'all for joining us. Excited to be on here with y'all. Justin, how was class this evening?
Class was very different. We're starting to mix things up in 2021. We're trying to get more people coming out to the club. Ironic to try and do in the middle of a pandemic, probably frowned upon by most people.
But y'all are wearing masks.
We all wear masks underneath the armored mask, and anytime the mask comes up, if someone does have to drop theirs, I'm very good about taking a step back, at least caring for myself. But also, these things are pretty long. Mm-hmm. We're never within distance for longer than a few seconds.
Mm-hmm. And oh man. Y'all, it was an open class night for y'all.
It was.
New people, right?
Not
new people.
Not new people. We were doing something different. I think the second Wednesday of every month, we do newcomers. Anyone interested in beginning to study self-defense and Rapier, specifically late Renaissance Rapier, is welcome to come out and fence and learn. And then you get to do the rest of the month for only $40.
That's not bad.
That's really good. The last Wednesday of every month will be open fight nights, where we basically host a mini tournament, and anyone who wants to show up and just fence are welcome to. We actually share the academy with a group called Sword to Sword that studies the Lichtenauer longsword and other different treatises of longsword and German longsword. They also do some saber, they do some side sword. They do a lot of different things.
Did you get a chance to fight with any tonight?
Oh yeah. I fenced a guy who uses the Spanish rapier style. Oh, that was fun. That totally changed up the game. Because he steps in those circles and he just focuses on twisting your blade to move it out of the way so he can quickly come in and strike you in the head.
He goes to school here in Houston?
He is a longsword fencer for sword to sword, but he also started reading Spanish treatises because a year ago, whenever we held our first tournament, actual tournament, he competed without really any experience, and he and I tied for third place.
That same dude?
It's the same dude, so I get to fence him more tonight, and he was kicking my butt at first, but then we went aside and we talked about it a little bit, and I figured out what he was doing, and I said, it looks like the Spanish, and he's like, that's actually who I've been reading. And he talks a little bit about his theory and what he does, and I was like, all right, let's go a few more times. And I was able to start shutting down his technique and start countering and landing some winning blows.
That's cool. That's fun. I wonder if you can get his treatise from him.
I would really like to.
Ask him if you can get it from him.
Because there's another treatise that I need to start reading that is a student of Fabris who was a fencer. Fabris fenced 1560 probably late 1560 to early 1600s. Very early 1600s. There's actually a letter in historical accounts written by Shakespeare to Fabris saying, hey, we have a duel at the end of this play that I wrote called Hamlet. Will you come and choreograph it?
Are you kidding?
Not at all.
That
is my teacher's
cool.
That is my teacher's biggest bragging point. And I'm like, you need to find me that letter.
Find that letter.
You need to find me that letter.
God. That is awesome.
Mm-hmm. But I have the name of a treatise of his student that really takes a lot of his ideas and techniques and he progresses them further because he was a fencer in 1620s to 1640s. So very early 17th century before they make the transition into small sword.
Interesting. Okay. So you guys start reading that. That's interesting.
Mm-hmm.
Was it pretty... well, hold on.
Okay.
I wanted to ask because y'all also have... Y'all school also has an Instagram handle.
We do.
Scoula Di Fabris?
Scoula Di Fabris. I hope I'm not butchering that Italian. My apologies.
Link in the description below. You can get a chance to see him. You get to see a couple duels, which I really like seeing a lot of the duels that y'all do. Anytime I see you in there, I'm like, hey, it's Justin.
Yeah, green
hey,
fencer.
It's Justin.
Green fencer. Green jacket, usually green socks. Everything else is black. And then this is my rapier. If you recognize the blade, that's me.
Y'all get pretty sweaty in there?
So we do, like we used to do for theater, the vodka spray. They have it sitting over to the side. And after everything, I strip off my fencing gear and I spray everything down with vodka before I come home.
Gotta drink a lot of water.
Yes.
A great segue into our sponsor, H2O. If you're not drinking it now, I don't know what you're doing. Drink water. Thank you. A word from our sponsor.
The greatest sponsor.
The only one that's paying me.
The biggest sponsor in the world. They have over 75% of all matter on Earth. I don't know. That's not
land coverage.
Surface area. Coverage.
There we go. There we go. Oh man, that was good.
Hey, how's class?
It was good. I fell and I did a dumb. I went to class at 8:15 when we have class at 8:45. So I showed up and there were all the yoga people there because it's in a yoga studio. Mm-hmm. And I was standing there and I went to the room and I was like, man, where is everybody? I'm waiting there. Oh yeah, it's Wednesday. And it's, because I've been bad about not going to Wednesday classes because it's just so late.
Yeah.
From the work and I have to get up early the next day and everything. So it's difficult for me to make Wednesdays now. But it's just because it starts late. Because of coronavirus, they want to wait 30 minutes. But it was a good class. Today we really just focused on, we have our newest student is slowly working through the basic sets of like sitting forms.
Gotcha.
So like the really, really, really basic stuff.
So it's like all of you reviewing it, kind of showing him how.
Yeah, because if you...
There's a plane passing over. And it's gone.
One of the things that we do when you're a new student, the first day, you run through every single waza. We run you through everything. We don't explain you anything. We're just like, all right, go. And then the next probably month, 2 months, you work on just one.
Oh.
And it's just one, and you just keep getting that right because it's the basic fundamental form for all the rest.
Once you get that, then everything else is more of a...
Variation.
Fabris calls it mutation. Yeah.
Yeah, we call them like variation or like variation 1, variation right, variation left. But once you learn that one basic one, you start to branch out and learn the others. And so he just got through all the sitting forms, but so it was just a really basic class, which is nice, kind of easy. What's interesting is what's been happening the past couple of. Well, I don't know if I should talk about that. That'll be further down the road.
Okay.
I'll bring that up later. It'll be a secret for later. But other than that, class was really basic. It was really nice for me just to kind of relax into.
That's good.
Yeah.
I had a guy comment on my sword. So apparently he thinks my blade is extremely heavy. And so my sword really likes to fall point first. And I'm like, hey, that's fine, man.
That's great.
That's what I'm using all the time.
It's like, hey, man, maybe you should start to work out a little bit, get some strength in there. You should get a heavier blade.
He's one of the bigger guys.
Oh.
Yeah, but the thing is, his pommel was much bigger than mine. So it put the balance more centered around the guard as opposed to centered here, where mine is. Like, my balance point is in front of the guard almost 2 inches.
Yeah,
whereas his was like there.
That's interesting because from what I remember from my studies is like where you were having, that's the balance, that's where it should be. The closer it is to here, that's more of cutlass. The closer it is to the hilt, it's meant, the weight being around the pommel is meant for the weight to shift it back and spin it. That's from but again, that's cutlass.
Yeah, and that would make sense because you want more of the weight closer to your hand because it's your wrist that's going to be doing a lot of the movement. Whereas this style is very much, I'm holding it out in front of me as a defense, and I do a slight mutation with my wrist, whether that be up, down, left, or right, depending on what my opponent does, so I can maintain that defense. And hitting him is more of aligning the shoulders and stepping forward with the front foot.
Was he using the same... He was using a rapier?
Yeah, and he actually almost used this exact same model.
Huh.
Free advertising for the people who made this. Darkwood Armory. Go to woodenswords.com. That's actually where I got my gear. Darkwood is a sword manufacturer. They specialize in historical armors. and weaponry.
Hit them up.
Hit them up.
Hit
They're
up
great.
people.
But almost everyone in my class has a Darkwood sword. And I kind of swear by them because a lot of those guys say that another armory that I keep bringing up, every blade that they've seen or had has broken within 2 years.
Oh, God.
Whereas Darkwood, like, most of those guys are fencing with 4 to 10-year-old blades and having no problem.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, all right. That's fun.
Yeah. And honestly, I really like it. It's my first one that isn't for a stage, but I think it's pretty.
Same place you get doublet, helmet.
So, woodenswords.com is Purple Heart Armory. That's where I get all of my gear. My jacket, my chest plate. You can get gorgets from them, which is the neck guard. I have a special gorget from a guy who is no longer manufacturing, and it makes me sad.
Oh.
Yeah. Because it's like almost actual brigandine armor.
Ooh.
Yeah, it's studded leather.
Oh, yeah, right.
It's real nice.
That is nice. That is a nice piece.
But then the people who make this, they specialize in weapons.
Yeah, I mean, I mostly get my stuff, like all of my equipment, I bought from my teacher. Because she usually, well, at least all like the basic gear, but the only time we really get to go buy or like, I guess more extravagant tops and clothes is when we go to like the Japan festival.
Okay.
They'll have like some vendors that have a vintage clothing from Japan you can buy, which is nice. That's where you see like the other like patterned tops that I have.
Gotcha.
That's where I get those from. But I need to get some different tops. I need to get some more stuff for my my equipment.
I've been wanting to get historical footwear. The guy who
some actual like boots or some
So the guy who made the comment
heels.
about this sword, not heels, he has leather flats that are essentially just socks with some buckles on them.
Huh.
Yeah, they're essentially just brown leather socks with buckles on them. The sole is that thick. Very thin. Very thin.
Could you stab through that?
Easily. Like I said, it is essentially just a leather sock with some buckles on it and then like triple layered under the foot.
You should stab me in the foot.
Actually, Fabris talks about attacks to the feet, but I've just never done them.
Try them out next time.
Yeah.
Go for someone's feet like Pewds. Go for the knees.
There was one guy who historically he would cut to the legs. He was the only guy who talked about it in the treatise, and I need to check with my teacher to see who it was because my teacher calls him a badass. yeah. There's this guy who cuts the legs, but I mean that dude was a badass.
What? Okay. So you get to research him and bring him next time.
What I want to do is start to research because I will be relocating. News
For 2021.
And I haven't mentioned this. My instructor said I'm welcome to use the school name when I am established to open up a West Coast branch.
So he will be teaching West Coast.
Let's aim for 2022. 2022, if you're on the West Coast, specifically Seattle, come find me. Let's do some historical European martial arts.
Cool. But read that treatise for next time. And I actually have an article from my teacher that I need to read that I haven't read this week already. But we'll read both.
The week's only halfway done.
I know. But I need to read it. But next time we will have both those read, and we will get to be able to tell you all about them. So thank you guys for joining us. Appreciate it. Thank you, Justin.
Thank you, Troy.